Hello YouTubians, welcome back to another Dr. Spicer 10 YouTube video, and today is episode 10, I think it is. I think it's episode 10 of the TARDIS build diary. And you can see there's an immediate change. Wait, is it actually staying green on camera? No, it's not. But as you can tell by the bottom, we have legs. These are just placed on. This is the idea as I'm going for. So when it comes to taking this down to obviously move around to a different room, if I have to, when I unscrew this, I don't know if you can see it, but unscrew this, and in there, it should keep it shaped when I finish with it. And then what I can do is just lift, like unstick it, because it's going to be tucked, it's going to be tacked on with some hot glue. But for now, these just can come out. But now I'm gonna sort that out like so. But basically, it's just there to give it the shape, like on the real console. But you don't see it as much on the real thing. I mean, you do see it, but it only goes to about a certain point before it cuts off to the mesh flooring. But for us people who build the 10th Doctor's TARDIS, which is all the way down to the floor. So yeah, and then of course this would obviously unhook from inside there. These are just screwed in, but they actually lift out. So yeah, I've got about 6 of those cut to match in with the top. They're basically in line with the top, so you know. And of course it will skip these, unfortunately, but I can't really do nothing about that. To be honest, I don't mind it. It's gonna be painted. Once it's painted, it's gonna be covered entirely, and you can't really see it. And of course, it's putting a bit of expanding foam on the underside. And speaking of panels and stuff, we have our first perspex panel that's been covered in cling film. After the idea was taken from the bio-doctor and Josh, because Josh told me about this. I didn't know the bio-doctor did it until Josh told me. But yeah, basically these are just placed in. That's actually on this panel, and it's been dated up. So yeah, there's a pot underneath there for the time being. There will be supports underneath to keep this panel, you know, very taut and strong, and I'll be doing the same for the rest of them, and the mesh panels at the side. But I mean, it's somewhat got some strength to it, but unfortunately I need to do some supports. I have done a back support there so it stays up, and it's like tucked behind there. The panel's going to be raised up a tiny bit, just an inch, probably like that, not much at all, just a tiny bit. It will be raised on blocks, and it will be glued, but the panels themselves won't be glued. I think they'll be more placed on, but if they move around or anything, I will just have to hot glue them into place, and then I can just take them off if I need to. But I'm thinking of putting screws into these, just so I can unscrew it in the corners and edges. But it's only going to work in the edges, not the middle. So yeah, I did do a test where I took this off. I unscrewed that, obviously took the rear start off and the gauge and the solid charging port, that's sliding off. And I unscrewed the top, and then I unscrewed the underneath, and it held its shape a little bit, but I'm going to put some cardboard inside of it to keep its shape. But yeah, I've still got some work on the time rotor to do. I've definitely got to, you know, paint them when I've got some cream paint. And obviously I'm going to make this wider, so it's a little bit more wide. And as for the top, these two are going to be glued together. That's going to be glued on, so they're all going to be glued. The only thing that will be able to come off is this, and of course this, so I can just lift it out. So yeah. So that's really the changes. I did put this crystal in it. It's not even a crystal, but it's like the one on the 10th Doctor's TARDIS console. Basically, it's a glow in the dark crystal, and when you turn the lights out, hopefully, in fact, Yeah. Turn the lights out. No, you can't even see it, never mind. Let's put this console light back on. I'm waiting for it to, I don't think it will go green. But in the thumbnail, it's green. Okay, I turned off the lights. This is just a little... This is me trying to prove that this is a green console. I'm trying not to go so close because otherwise it might turn blue. But this is me telling the truth, it is green. So, yeah. Watch I go too close and it'll change colour. No, it's actually staying green. Yay! We've got them, boys! But yeah, looks amazing. As soon as I turn the light on, watch this. It goes blue! And that's basically the same colour that the console's at right now. It's not blue. It's showing blue on the camera, it's stupid. But yeah, I'm going to have to raise these edges up a little bit. I'm pretty scared to take these off, you know, to get more panels under. Well, I've still got to put the ridges on. I'll have to draw those on because I won't be able to just, you know. So I don't mind them just drawing them on because I can make them look like the 3D with some sort of shadow effect that I learned ages ago. And I could just put some cardboard in there, like I keep saying. Cardboard in there just to strengthen it. It's only going on the underside, not the top. The top are pretty strong. They're not as flimsy. This one's pretty solid. This one, tiny little bit flimsy, but that's a slightly different material to what the rest of them are. And the expanding foam is doing its job. So, yeah, I will probably put some little, well, there will be like supports as in the way, the thing that goes down, not down to the panels itself, but slightly down, like on the real console. And you've got things on the sides of them. So, yeah. I'm going to be doing some method thinking of having battery packs. Now, instead of having them on this shelf, look, you can't see it, this shelf-looking thing where the mechanism for the turbo was, I'm thinking of just having the battery packs, like, on the floor, just, you know, because when I get the pipings across, well, I've got to think about making the piping removable, and it's going to be weird. And there's going to be a little bit of lighting underneath there, because it is on the actual one, and you've got, like, things in the sides of them to make it, you know, like, blocked off or something. I was toying with the idea of using offcuts of these to make the fins of the time rotor. I was even trying to think of making a panel up using offcuts, but I then later decided that ain't going to work. But it will work as support inside the actual panels itself, you know, for the middle. So what I could do is when I take this panel out again, I'll obviously hot glue this, like sections of these, to the panel. I know you can see the lights inside, especially on the mesh ones, but I'm toying with what Josh has originally done, just putting bits of sheets of A4 in it, just to diffuse it a tiny bit. But I'm not going to, I don't think. That's only there to add, because if that wasn't there, that's pretty flimsy. That's what I'm thinking of having supports in through the sides for. So when I put side supports in, you know, I can take stuff from the middle. But I will probably put some bits in underneath from the spare piece of there to make up some sort of way of keeping it up. But yeah, the front mesh panel is a lot stable. Obviously I've got to raise this up a tiny bit on this edge, just so it stops caving down like that. Because imagine if I put a switchboard or something in there, it's just gonna, I mean, you can imagine, it just goes straight and it kind of slides in. So yeah, then I've got to disguise this, but a compass usually sits around here, so I'm not really bothered about that. This is one of the wheel spacer panels. This isn't the right wheel spacer, like, you know. And this is the one they sent me, even though I bought the right ones, but they sent me this one. But yeah, I'll be getting more of these, so, you know, accurate ones this time. But not yet. So this is just a stand-in piece for a little bit. And there's one with a crystal in it, and there's one with like a hard drive motor looking thing in it. I need hard drive motors instead of using these. I want to get proper hard drive motors. No, not even thinking about that. But that's only going on here to like show you. This, I don't think it's on this panel. It's supposed to be like blue and it's got like this black pipe thing over it. I'm not sure what it is. That's what Josh told me anyways. And then, even though that's a hot glue stick, it's not even the right size for my gun, so I can't even use it. So yeah. But yeah, it's looking awesome. And when you're walking through the door, the first thing you should see is a rear strap. So there we go. So yeah, thank you for watching. And if you're interested in the progress so far, the playlist is on YouTube now. The TARDIS build diary from episode 1, from 5 months, probably 6 months ago now, till now. So yeah, Alonzo.